Today, we'll be doing a review of the LG QNED90. We'll be evaluating it on our standardized test bench to see how it performs and if you should buy it. We bought and tested the 65-inch model, and we expect the other sizes to perform similarly. This TV is a new TV in LG's typical lineup of LED TVs, equipped with quantum dot technology and a mini LED full array backlight. This is the 4K QNED model, as the 8K model is called the QNED90. The LG QNED90 has a pretty slim and boxy design, similar to the LG G1 OLED. The stand has only one height and width position and supports the TV well. You'll need a large entertainment cabinet to sit the TV on though, as the feet are nearly as wide as the TV. There are cable management clips and routing through the back of the stand for a tidier look. The inputs are located on the left-hand side with HDMI 2.1 ports and two HDMI 2.0 ports that allow you to connect a variety of devices. One of the ports also supports ARC, or audio return channel, that you can connect to your receiver or soundbar to play sound from the TV through your external speakers. It takes up one of the HDMI 2.1 ports, however, so if you have multiple HDMI 2.1 devices, such as a new PS5 or Xbox Series X, then you'll be out of luck with this set. The back of the TV fits the VESA mount standard, so you can wall mount it for a cleaner look, and it is pretty thin. Because of the cable management clips, it sits a little further off the wall than flush when wall mounted, but it is a slim TV. The build quality of the TV is remarkable, as expected from LG's high-end TVs. It's made of metal and is pretty solid on its feet, even if they are pretty basic. Now onto our test results, and we'll start with the contrast. A high contrast ratio results in deep, dark scenes, which is good if you want to watch movies in a dark room, like a home theater environment. This TV performs well for an IPS when the mini LED backlight local dimming is enabled, so dark scenes appear deep and detailed. The contrast with local dimming off is less impressive, however, and will have raised blacks that look gray in most viewing conditions. Local dimming is a feature to further improve dark scenes for a better movie watching experience, and the experience here is satisfactory. Mitigating the raised black levels of IPS panel TVs with good performing local dimming implementation could potentially be great, but there is still noticeable blooming and black crush in scenes on the QNED90, leaving a bit more to be desired. On the other hand, if you want to use the TV in a bright room, then a high peak brightness is important to overcome glare. Fortunately, the LG QNED90 has great brightness, similar to other higher-end LED TVs. This means it can produce bright highlights in newer high dynamic range or HDR content. If you care about an impactful HDR image or overcoming glare in a bright room, this can be a good TV for you. Also coupled with brightness for a bright room is good reflection handling when trying to overcome glare. You can see that this TV handles reflections decently, but the intensity isn't significantly reduced, so it isn't quite the best choice for a room with lots of light, or you'll end up seeing light sources on screen, interrupting your dark scene viewing. If you've got a wide seating arrangement or like to watch TV with family and friends, then good viewing angles help to ensure no one's left with washed out colors or crushed details. Fortunately on this LG, the image quality remains accurate when viewed off angle thanks to the IPS panel, which typically have good viewing angles like this. An overall uniform screen brightness and color is important when watching sports or playing video games to avoid the appearance of clouding known as the dirty screen effect. This does vary between units, but we expect the LG QNED90 we bought to be about typical. It's okay overall, but there is noticeable dirty screen effect in the center of the display. In really dark scenes, the black uniformity is a bit better when local dimming is enabled, but there's still noticeable blooming, especially when sitting off-center from the screen. A lot of people care that a TV has good colors. In the case of this LG QNED90, the TV can display deep saturated greens, reds, and blues. This is great for those who like an image with extra saturation or for watching high dynamic range content on streaming services. The out-of-the-box color accuracy is important for those who want an accurate image as the director intended without needing to calibrate your display. This is something that varies between units, but we expect ours to be about typical, and it is very good. Some TVs struggle to display smooth gradients, so when watching a movie with a sunset, some banding can be visible. In the case of this TV though, it isn't an issue with great gradient performance, and there's also an extra smooth gradation setting, which helps even more at the expense of some smaller details. When playing video games, a fast response time is important for the clearest image without distracting blur. The QNED90 has a very good and fast response time overall, but some overshoot or inverse ghosting may be visible in some scenes. If you look closely at this moving photo taken on the TV, you'll notice the faint bright trail on the left-hand side behind the moving logo. A low input lag is also important for a responsive feel when playing video games, and thankfully, this TV is great in this regard. This TV also supports VRR for tear-free gaming, no matter what VRR source you have. There is a bug we ran into, however, where switching in and out of game optimizer mode, you would have the motion interpolation settings grayed out of game mode. You need to disable VRR first before changing to a non-game mode in order to restore access to these settings if you care about them. Hopefully, this will be fixed with a firmware update, but only affects those who game and use motion interpolation features when watching in other picture modes. If you care about using this TV as a computer monitor, however, do note that the 1080p and 1440p resolutions at 120Hz don't support Chroma 444 properly at this time, but 4K 120 works fine. This is only important for people who are using the TV as a monitor and care about text clarity. Speaking of gaming, this TV supports all of the common signals up to 120Hz, which is great for casual gamers and heavier users alike. It supports all 3 variable refresh rates, which is good for a tear-free gaming experience. It only has 2 HDMI 2.1 ports, as I mentioned earlier, so keep that in mind if you need multiple connections for your devices or care about future-proofing. For those of you with a next-gen Xbox console, do note that the TV doesn't currently support 4K 120Hz Dolby Vision gaming at this time. This will be fixed according to LG via an update. Like other LG TVs, this one uses the WebOS smart platform. It's easy to use with a Wii Remote-style Magic Remote to make inputting commands easier, and the overall smoothness of the platform is great. You're sure to find the apps you need in the App Store to watch from all your streaming platforms. The sound of this TV is decent and about typical of many TVs. Having said that, TVs are getting thinner and thinner. Good sound doesn't tend to be much of a focus, so if this is something you care about, then an external soundbar or speaker is the way to go. So this brings us to the main question: should you buy this TV? Well, honestly, this TV is not the best option for most people, as it is in the same price range as the LG C1 OLED for those who want a much better overall picture quality and has less features. If you're worried about burn-in on the LG C1 OLED, the Samsung QN90A is a better overall TV than the QNED90 for a slightly smaller price tag. And if you want to save even more money, the Sony X90J is a great option. Only buy the QNED90 if OLED burn-in worries you because of your usage and you want a bright, wide viewing angle TV with the WebOS smart platform.